Hello everyone and welcome to another Hallu Sees It review. Today I am reviewing Pigs on Trampolines. Make them fly when pigs fly, right? So let's talk about this game. This is a game published by Play Monster. I'd like to thank them for providing this copy for review. It is for ages 6 and up, and it's for 2 to 3 players, which is a very odd player count, but I think I'll explain my reasoning or my thoughts behind that player count, my own interpretation, if you will. But let's talk about this game. First, initial impressions of this, right? Just a very, very fun, silly game. A very interesting dexterity game where basically we are going to be trying to bounce these pigs off these trampolines and try to make it into the center of this little contraption here, the mud bath, if you will, and grab a token. So let's go ahead and show you what the back of the box and what comes in it. There is some setup required with this, but you're going to get 6 rubber pigs and 3 trampolines, 7 little mud pies, and the pig pen here. So all right, let's go ahead and open it up, show you how everything gets set up and put together. It is, there is a certain way that this should go back in the box. It is not a, hey, we're done, let's throw everything in here kind of a game. So there will be some strategic putting back in the box. I will say that the game has some storage instructions here, but they don't really work the way that it's shown. So I'm going to show you afterwards at the end, again, how I put this back in the box correctly. I'll put some timestamps in the description, so you should be able to skip around. So let's pull everything out. We have the trampolines, talk about the components. Great quality on these components, honestly. We have the trampolines here. One of the things that I found a little somewhat odd is that these ones here don't have any sort of like footing on them as these do here. And again, I don't know why they just wouldn't have done them on all, maybe just to save on some of the cost. Again, it's plastic. I don't know that it's really, again, there's no danger in it. I don't think scratching any surface, normal playing surface that you're going to be worried about. It is designed so that the trampoline is slanted, and that's why there's this arrow here, so that you recognize, hey, I want this pointed towards the pig pen or the center thing where you're aiming for. Having these on here, these little, I don't even know what to call them, little kind of friction things, stickers, if you will, here on the front here, is going to help keep the trampoline in place. The material here is very interesting. Again, not normal trampoline material, but it's kept very tight, good quality. I mean, obviously it is a material that if you were to put a ton of pressure and continue to put a ton of pressure, you're going to probably deform that. So just be aware of that. Again, you can play this with very young kids. We'll talk about this here in a minute. There's a strategy, a little bit kind of getting used to make the pigs go where you want them to go. You get a little better at it over time, but initially it can be quite frustrating. So with the younger kids, it may be difficult to attach onto, but the trampolines are really, really great. Again, have to be a little bit careful with them, obviously. It's a very thin material. Again, you can push on it, but prolonged or intense, but you could possibly break that, right? So we have 3 of those. They are all the same design with that kind of sloped pointing towards the arrow there will help you along there. So that's that. We have the pigs. Let's pull out the pigs. Got some piggies hiding under here. So we have 6 of them. They are all unique in their design here. So we have this one here. It's got like a little blue mohawk, one of my favorites. Very simple. Also this one reminds me of the pig from Sing. So that's a good time. We have this one here with the red cape. We have this one here, green, very safe piggy. He's got his protective gear on. And we have the one with the yellow goggles as well. So good quality, just little rubber piggies. There's a little hole there so that to let in and out air. But yeah, those are the pigs. And here are the tokens, the little mud pie tokens that I was talking about. They're just a simple little plastic. So again, some small pieces in this. These are the smallest pieces in the game. Again, very nice to keep track of, so you don't have to keep track of basically points. They're like scoring markers, if you will. If you get it in the middle, basically you're going to take one of these. Whoever has the most will be the winner. I don't know. I kind of wish there was a few more tokens in here. The game can seem fairly short with 3 players. I mean, it's not a big deal. You just play again, or again, you could just keep track of how many times you do it in a minute. There's all sorts of house rules kind of suggest and talk about, but that's that. Then you have the pieces that make up the mud pit here. Oh, you know what? I forgot a pig. 2, 4. Yeah, there was one hiding right here. So this one here has a little blue skirt on. So that's the 6th piggy. So yeah, pull this out. There are instructions as well. I guess we can talk about the instructions before we talk about putting this together. The instructions here, pretty straightforward on the setup, honestly. I'll show you a little bit of putting this portion on the top is probably the trickiest bit. We'll show you that. And then gameplay, really you're just gonna take pigs and go at it. When someone gets into the middle, everyone's gonna pause. The person will be able to recollect that pig, one of the tokens. Everyone gets to kind of restart with, if you're playing with 2 players, 3 pigs, or 3 players, 2 pigs each, kind of reset, and then it's just kind of a free-for-all. You can take turns, so it's not quite so crazy. You can do all sorts of different things to help with that. I like this, though. This is a huge trick, and I'll show you that in action here. For better pig bouncing, bounce the pigs on their tails. If you're having difficulty hitting the pig pen, make sure it's facing the right direction. But that is part of my strategy, and what I've found successful is bouncing them on their tails, kind of in a certain motion. So we'll show you that, some strategy tips. But yeah, so really, the game's very simple, right? The instructions really there for strategy tips and putting this together. So how do you put this together? Fairly simple. You have basically 5 pieces here. This is going to go on last. And so first put these together. You just line those up, and they're just going to snap in place. Once you get this all lined up, it takes a little bit of force to get in there, but it's not like a super fast snap motion. It's more like a slow close. So just, oh, that one did snap together. Anyway, so watch your fingers as you're putting that together. But that gives us the sturdy base that this guy's gonna go onto. Basically, you have on the bottom here these 4 pieces here, and they're gonna go and line up with that. You push that down. Then we're gonna take this here. Now the biggest thing here to recognize is that there are some tabs here along the outside, and those are meant to kind of keep that in place. So you got one there, there's one here, here. I think on all the big fences along the outside, there is this tab here. So as you're placing that in, you can kind of place it underneath one of them. Focus on that one. Then you can kind of place it down, but then go along, and then you're just gonna gently pull back on that the fence piece and pull back on this the opposite direction until that comes underneath that. And do that for each. You just kind of gently pull back, pull this back this way, and then that way you can get it in there without damaging the cardboard here. Very fun graphic design on this. I think it looks great. So then all we have left is this piece here. And that's just gonna line up with these openings with these little cross beams there going that way. And then once you kind of get that lined up, you're gonna take a little bit of force. And that's just kind of a slow push in until that's level. And there you have it. The last bit of the setup is you're gonna take one of these, you're gonna take these and dump them in there, and now you have a nice mud pit that the piggies can go into. All right, so that is set up. And gameplay, show you some of the gameplay. So again, setting this up, I'm gonna set this back just a little bit. Sorry, let me adjust the camera angle just slightly here. All right, show us a little bit more of that. All right, so again, what you want to do, everyone's going to kind of want to get a certain kind of distance away from there, maybe try some different distances, some warm-up throws, if you will. But yeah, if you just kind of toss the pig on there, it's, you know, whatever, it's going to easily go whatever direction. Very kind of random feeling, right? So what you want to do is, as it suggests, here's my bouncing tip. And I'll post a link in the description to this video of kind of a slow-mo of, you know, some my technique or the throw there as well. But yeah, you want to really just kind of focus on getting it here on their tail. It's a fairly flat surface. So the problem of, you know, just kind of grabbing it and throwing it is you got these ears and arms and the snout, and it's going to hit and it's going to very easily go different directions. So strategy tip here is to grab the pig and always bounce it on its tail. And I like to do like a little motion with my hand. Again, I don't have it in my hand, but like what I'm doing is I'm trying to, like, as I'm putting it down, almost put like a spin on it a little bit. And it's a little more controlled. Again, it's not perfect, but that's the best success is you can get is with the tail, with that little thing there. So the game, you don't really get points for getting it on the platform, but that is another house rule that you could do, is you just keep track of points. And if you get it on the platform, that's a point. If you get it into the middle, that's 3 points. That's kind of a house rule that we came up with for pigs on trampolines. So again, you can use the tokens. Oh, there you go. 3 points, or grab the pig in the game, one of the tokens, everyone reset, go again. But there's definitely a technique to it that you can get better at. You know, it does feel very random at first, but you can get it so that you are fairly good at this. It's not going to be like a Crokinole 20 type situation, but there's definitely that technique of kind of getting it in there. So again, is a 6-year-old going to have the patience to try to figure that out? Probably not. Even if you tell them the strategy, they'll probably just want to get those things flying as quickly as possible. But it's very fun, and I think that's just, you have to be aware that it is, you know, a little challenging to kind of get used to. But if you use this technique, you're going to get a lot more successes with Pigs on Trampoline. So that being said, we really enjoyed this. It's a funny little game. Even with my kids a little bit older, they, you know, aren't as successful. You kind of get there. You just need some practice. But as an adult, I have been able to get it down fairly well there. Again, if you're having troubles, you know, make sure you can check the distance, you know, from the trampoline to the pit in the middle, different things like that. But great components, funny, silly little game. As far as the player count goes, again, 2 to 3 players. I did see some things in the forums and things that mentioned that this actually used to be published as a 2-player game. And even on the picture, they like added this last pig. So like the 2-player one, it only had 2 trampolines showing because it was just for 2 players. So make note of that. Look for the player count as far as which version you get on Pigs on Trampolines. That being said, I think 3 players work. 4 players, I think the reason why they didn't go 4 players, number one, it probably wouldn't have fit in the box. So they would have had to make an even bigger box because it is tight. And we'll show you here just in a minute how to put everything back. The other thing is that it is a certain amount of space, right? Everyone's going at the same time in the usual mode, trying to do it quickly. And if you had an additional player, the size of the pigs and everything on this, you're going to have more of an issue, right? Because there's pigs flying, you're going to be knocking into each other more frequently, and probably just too chaotic at that point. So I don't know. I know people, you know, you hear 2 to 3 and it's like, that's a really weird player count. And it kind of is, but the game's really quick. You can take turns. If you had 6 players, you could play this almost like a tag team thing, right? Of like, hey, you do a pig, then your other teammate does a pig, and you just rotate, and you each have to rotate. So there's some different things that you can play with as far as, you know, or if you have 4, just use 2 trampolines and do that team style element. With that being said, I think it's time to put the game away. Oh, do we have to? Yeah, that's probably what my kids would say. So, very fun game. That is how Lou sees it. Let's go ahead and do some putting away. So I don't do a ton of videos where I am doing a video on how to put a game away, but this is one where that would be important because the instructions on this don't work. So here is Lou's instructions for you. Number 1, get all those back in the baggie, right? Close that up. That's probably what's going to be lost first. Again, not a huge deal. If they do thematically, just keep track of your points. There's different things you can do, right? Not a huge deal. We'll set that aside. First of all, we want to take this apart. So let's get that apart here. So here, actually, this went in last, but it's going to actually be a little bit difficult getting that out first. So what you're going to do is when you're taking it down, you're going to want to take off this first. Similarly, when we put this together, if you skipped to the taking away and putting it away part, what we're going to do is we're going to slowly pull back on this fence, and I'm going to take the cardboard here and grab it with my finger and pull towards me to pop that up over. Now it's over that tab. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to pull it up over that tab, and I'm going to go back around. I'm going to do the exact same thing here. I'm going to pull back on this fence, pull this towards me gently, pull it up. And this way you're going to keep this nice. You're not going to ruin that cardboard. All right. So then once we have that, this is loose here on the top. We're going to pull that up. I'm going to set that aside for now. And first of all, make sure that you have the bottom of the box. So there's nothing worse than putting a complicated game away like this. Not complicated, but squeezing it into a box, then discovering that you had spent all that time and put it in the lid, and now you have to switch it over to the bottom. So make sure you have the bottom of the box. Have the rules. Keep the rules in there. That helps remind me. But I'm going to go ahead and put that on the bottom of the box first. Then as we're pulling this apart, really we can just kind of pull up on this structure, on these beams here. And that's going to kind of help dislodge the whole thing. So we're going to pull that all off at once. So remember, this is another component. So we're just kind of going to push on the bottom of this as I'm holding on to the structure all around, and that will pop off. May take a little bit of force, but if you do that careful, you got that off there. We're going to go ahead and put this in the box as well. We're going to do it face up, so that's going to give us more room, right? If we put it this way where the fences are down, we automatically, we're already losing a bunch of space, right? Because now that's resting up off there. So I'm going to place it like that. All right, we have this here. That can just kind of be set aside for now. So now we need to pull this apart. And really, you're just going to grab each on the top here, right like that, and just start pulling away. Come down to the bottom, do the same thing, start pulling away. Again, this is going to require a little bit of more force. I don't think a 6-year-old would be able to take it apart, put it away, right? So keep that in mind. Again, I think my older kids, if I walk them through this process, they could, but are they going to remember the process? I don't know. So keep that in mind. You need to be putting this away. So if you're looking for a game that the kids can take up, play, set up, put away by themselves, unless they're a little bit older, maybe a bit of a challenge. So we have all our components here. We already have those in there. The next thing we want to do, gather up our pigs here. Make sure that we have a count here. I got to stand up here and get these other pigs. Do a head count, just like we're on a field trip or something. We got a head count. We got 6 piggies. Excellent. We have our 3 trampolines. Now let's talk about the trampolines. The image shows, hey, just stack them all together like this. Does this work? No. No, it doesn't. You can see it goes above the box. It doesn't work that way. What it is you have to do 2 stacked on top of each other like so, and the other one you're going to have go the other direction. And now you can see this is nice and compact as can be. And so that is the secret on the trampolines. You got 2 down, 1 the other way, and it's all in there. Find a spot there. You may need to kind of shift it around to see where this sits. If you have something right on this, it might be sitting up. So just kind of shift it around a little bit and you can see it's flush. Everything's good. All right, now the other secret is with these two pieces here. They say, hey, stack these on top of each other. Get into the box. Not gonna work. All right, so what we have is you need to kind of position them in the box like so. All right, and again, you kind of have to shift it around. There we go. So you may need to shift things around until you get those flush in the box there. All right. So nothing's sticking up. Again, you're gonna have to kind of do that like so. Then we have this here. You can kind of stick it in wherever like this. Now, and then you got these. This is easy, right? Stick these in on the side somewhere, it's fine. So now the piggies. So now the puzzle of the piggies. Again, can't just throw these in here, but you do just kind of need to find some spots. You can either do that. There's a spot here and here and here. And then what I like to do, again, you might be able to pull this off, keeping them outside the box, right? So, like so. That's really not too bad, is it? It's like one little piggy here. So you can kind of put that down there. And that actually works pretty good. Maybe I'll start doing that. Before, you could also just slip the piggies underneath here, because there is room for them to hide out there and still have this be down and flush as well. But I kind of like keeping them out. That helps ensure that things stay down there. So, but yeah, that is how to get everything in the box here, flush, with pigs on trampolines. So I hope that hope that was helpful. Again, fun little dexterity game, really kind of funny, and yeah, really enjoyed it. So that is Pigs on Trampolines from Play Monster. And that is how Lou sees it.